Welcome to City Times. Here we bring you transfer news, match updates, and inside training information fast and reliable. Join our football family and like, comment, share and subscribe for daily updates. Manchester City reminded of uncomfortable truth despite easing into Carabao Cup final. Manchester City booked their place in the 2026 Carabao Cup final thanks to a 3-1-5-1 on aggregate victory over Newcastle United at the Etihad Stadium. Pep Guardiola's desperation speaks volumes when it comes to the case for his Manchester City defence. Guardiola is hopping mad that new signing Marc Guéhi remains ineligible for the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal on March 22nd. A little-known rule has presented Guardiola with a big and well-known problem. EFL rules were tweaked this season, which means players can turn out for two different teams in the competition in a single campaign. That meant Antoine Semenyo started both legs of City's semi-final against Newcastle United. But because Guéhi arrived at the Etihad in a potential £30 million deal after the first leg, he was ruled out of the second one and subsequent showpiece final next month. The time restriction has come at a price for Guéhi. But what could the cost be to Guardiola in his quest to win a historic quadruple this season at the expense of his rivals from North London? Guardiola is discovering that there are some things money just can't buy, like a place in his team for a major cup final for arguably his best centre-back. City cruised past Newcastle in the two-legged semi-final. But while the scoreline suggests it was a mismatch, nothing could be further from the truth. James Trafford was one of City's best players in both halves. The goalkeeper came in from the cold to produce a red-hot performance. He denied Joe Willock and Anthony Gordon with superb saves, while producing an even better one to keep out Sven Botman's header. After the break, Jon Wissa missed a golden chance to score, while there was nothing Trafford could do to stop Anthony Elanga from netting a consolation goal for the visitors towards the end. A combination of some fine goalkeeping and woeful finishing failed to expose a City defence which is still not functioning well enough to win big titles. Arsenal might not be scoring goals for fun this season, but still have more than enough guile and quality to punish Guardiola's back four. Breaking news ahead of a massive night at the Etihad and Manchester City are walking into chaos. 15 players could miss this Carabao Cup semi-final. Injuries, suspensions, registration issues. And suddenly, a tie that looked finished feels anything but. City have one foot at Wembley. They beat Newcastle 2-0 at St James Park. Professional, controlled, ruthless. But everything since then has raised alarms. Pep Guardiola's squad is stretched. Newcastle are wounded too. And momentum, that's shifting. City come into this game still angry, still frustrated, still replaying what happened in North London. They were 2-0 up at Tottenham, cruising. Then it collapsed. 2 goals conceded, 2 points dropped, and a wave of referee controversy that refuses to go away. Now attention turns to who might not even make it onto the pitch. Ryan Cherki is a doubt. Knock picked up against Spurs. Pep says it's touch and go. Marc Guéhi won't play at all. Not injured, just not registered in time for the semi-final. Ruben Dias is back in training, but after a month out, this game likely comes too soon. And that's just City. Newcastle arrive battered after a 4-1 defeat at Anfield. Confidence shaken, but belief still alive, especially with City wobbling. And then there's the backdrop nobody can ignore. Pep Guardiola has had enough. He says he respects referees, but his patience is gone. Penalty shouts waved away. Offside decisions by millimetres. VAR reviews lasting minutes. Rodri exploded after Spurs. Foden denied penalties. Doku caught again and again. Similar challenges, different outcomes, no explanations. Pep wants answers. From VAR, from Howard Webb, from the system. He's already been booked, already banned once. And you can feel it boiling. This semi-final isn't just about Wembley anymore. It's about control, about discipline, about whether City can shut out the noise. Newcastle will sense it. They'll press. They'll believe. City have the lead, but they're short on bodies, short on patience, and surrounded by controversy. One bad decision, one injury setback, one moment of chaos, and suddenly everything changes. This is no longer routine, this is a test of nerve. And by full time we'll know is Manchester City heading to Wembley or standing on the edge of another storm. Breaking news out of the Etihad. Manchester City's transfer machine is printing money again. And this time it's the academy leading the charge. City have already banked a huge £27 million from Oscar Bobb's move to Fulham, a player they signed at 16. A pure profit deal, and it might only be the beginning. While City spent big this January, £82.5 million on Antoine Semenyo and Mark Guehi, this window was never about panic. It was about timing, opportunity, planning ahead. As new faces arrive, the conveyor belt keeps moving. 3 more academy exits have quietly been locked in, and each one could pay off in a big way. First, Mahamadou Sissoko, nearly a decade in City's system, now heading to Turkey with Kocaelispor. The fee starts at just over £340,000, but here's the key. Performance bonuses, a 40% sell-on clause, a buyback option, matching rights. City aren't letting go, they're investing. Then there's Justin Oboawoduo, City from under-9s all the way through. Now Juventus, officially a free transfer, but with performance clauses worth up to £2.6 million if he breaks through in Italy. Another long play. Seb Naylor is next, another academy lifer. Championship move to Bristol City, free transfer on paper. But City keep 25% of his next sale. If he explodes, City cash in, and there could be more before the window shuts. Even Stefan Ortega's departure might bring in up to £500,000 through appearance-based bonuses at Nottingham Forest. This is what modern squad building looks like. Buy smart, sell smarter, protect the upside. Manchester City aren't just winning on the pitch, they're winning the future one academy deal at a time. Zvera Nupan returns to Manchester City as Middlesbrough loan move. Cut short Manchester City midfielder, Zvera Nupan made 21 appearances for Middlesbrough during his loan spell at the Riverside Stadium. Manchester City have recalled Zvera Nupan from his loan spell at Middlesbrough. The 19-year-old joined the North East club in the summer transfer window, but struggled to make an impact for the Championship side in the first half of the season. Naipan did not play a full 90 minutes for Boro during the 6 months he was at the club. He started